you identify some of the animals that we'll see during our 2-week safari. We won't see every single one of them, but we usually have pretty good luck. We get to see a pretty good number of them. Now here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, we work with the Disney Conservation Fund to help protect these animals and their habitats.
Sí, creo que sí, una camioneta.
Now we're here in the Little Tree Forest, and if you look up on the hill there, you're gonna see some okapis. Now okapis, they're very shy animals. In fact, they're so shy they weren't discovered by the Western world until 1901. And even though their legs are striped a bit like a zebra's, they're not actually related to zebras. They are the closest living relative of the giraffe. And it looks like we're about to be super, super lucky here because I see a black rhino at the watering hole here on the left. Now we're really, really lucky because unfortunately due to poaching there are only 5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world today. So we are super, super lucky to get to see one. Now black rhinos, they get to be around 3,000 pounds and their horns are made of keratin. It's the same thing that human hair and fingernails are made of. In the Little White Tree first, but we're going to head on into the Sapi River now. So here in the Sapi River, a lot of the animals here are typically found in the water. So let's see if we'll find anything here in the Sapi River. Now if you look to the right there, there is a hippo in the water. Don't worry if you don't have a good view of it because we usually see some hippos up ahead on the left. Now they can stay submerged underwater for around 8 minutes at a time. So they can be under the water there for a pretty long time. Now you might also notice some of these large white birds. These are called pink-backed pelicans. Now I know they don't necessarily look very pink, but they get their name because their backs turn pink during mating season. And if you look on the land back there, kind of behind the trees, you'll see there are some hippos there. Now, they're pretty large. They get to be around 5,500 pounds and eat around 150 pounds of food a day, but I do need you all to remain fully seated, please. Now, we're also about to cross a bridge up here, and as we cross this bridge, you're going to want to look to your left, because I see some Nile crocodiles there. Now, Nile crocodiles, they get to be around 20 feet long. That's as long as a giraffe is tall. Sometimes you'll actually see them with their mouths wide open. Sometimes they're hungry. It's actually how they release heat through their mouths. And again, I do need you all to remain fully seated, please. I need everyone to remain fully seated. I need you all to remain fully seated at all times, please. Thank you. Now we're going to head on into the savannah. And the savannah is a totally different ecosystem from what we've seen so far. So we are going to be seeing some totally different animals there. Animals like giraffes, elephants, lions. They all call the savannah home. So hopefully we'll get to see a few of those in the savannah today. But first, this tree here on the right kind of looks like it's upside down. It's called a baobab tree. It's also sometimes just called an upside down tree. It stores water in its large trunk and it goes leafless for up to 9 months out of the year. whole savanna. It stretches for hundreds of miles in East Africa. Acts as a super highway for migrating animals. This is the wild Africa that we are all working to conserve. Now, I have a feeling we're going to get a good view of some animals a little further ahead in this savanna, so just hang on tight. We'll try and get as close of a look to some of them as we can.
Oh, this camel.
Now you might notice some of these large mounds around here in the savanna. They kind of look like dirt mounds or ant mounds, but they're actually termite mounds, and they can be as hard as concrete. Elephants will use the termite mounds as back scratching posts, and then antelopes, they'll use them to look out for lions. Now, the animals who live here in the savanna, they help shape it. So elephants are kind of like bulldozers, they'll knock down the trees. Giraffes, they're more like pruning shears, they'll eat the leaves off the trees. Zebra and antelope will mow the grass. And gazelles, they'll trim around the edges. So in a balanced ecosystem, everyone will have plenty of food to eat. As we come around the corner, you're going to see these animals close to us with their really big horns. These are called Ankole cattle. Now these Ankole cattle, they're the only domesticated animals here on the reserve. Now their horns, they look really big, but they're not that heavy. They act as a cooling system for the Ankole cattle, so they circulate blood through their horns, and it's how they keep cool. They're also sometimes called Watusi cattle. That's after the name of the tribe that originally domesticated them. And then coming up here on the left, it looks like we're about to be super lucky. Not only do I see some giraffes, but I see some baby giraffes here as well. Now those baby giraffes, when they're first born, are around 6 feet tall, so they're pretty tall. But fully grown adult giraffes, they get to be around 20 feet tall. Now even with their long-necked giraffes, they actually have 7 vertebrae in their necks, just like humans do. And these are Maasai giraffes. You can tell that by their pattern. Their spots are kind of uneven around the edges. Now in particular giraffes, their pattern is more even. So that's how you can tell the difference. And then coming up on the right, just waiting for them to get out of the road a little bit. But there are some white-bearded wildebeest here. Now these white-bearded wildebeest have one of the largest animal migrations. And they're also sometimes called new. That's because of the sound that they make. It sounds like they're saying new. I'm not quite sure if I see anything quite yet around here, but I have a little bit of an idea. I think what I'll do is I'll take us on a little shortcut. We'll go ahead on into elephant country. Hopefully we'll be lucky enough to see some elephants in elephant country, but if not, the shortcut's also going to take us on into white rhino territory. But if we do see any elephants in elephant country, we usually see a herd of the female and the young elephants there, because the male elephants, they're more solitary. They tend to stay by themselves. Now it has been a little while since I've taken this shortcut, and this bridge looks a little older and rustier than I remembered. So I'm just going to take it a little slow, and we should be totally fine. Uh-oh, that does not sound very good. Uh-oh, everybody hold on tight. Is everyone okay back there? Yeah? Okay, awesome. I'm just going to take it a little slowly off this bridge. We don't want that to happen again. And I guess I'll have to remember not to take that shortcut anymore, but we did make it into elephant country. Now I can tell we made it into elephant country because of the red clay. So if you look in the red clay, you might see elephant tusk marks. Elephants will eat the red clay for vitamins and nutrients. And one of the things we've actually found through our research here at the reserve is that elephants are actually afraid of bees, and they'll alert other elephants when there are bees nearby. So we've helped farmers in Africa set up beehive fences that protect their crops, and that helps to eliminate the economic incentive of poaching. So everybody wins in the end. Now we usually pick up a local radio station here in Elephant Country, so let's see if we can find it. So I do see some elephants. They're kind of behind some of the trees back there on the left. Well, we're gonna get a good view of some of the elephants up here on the left. Now also coming up here on the left is Flamingo Island. Now flamingos, they get their pink color from their diets, but these are greater flamingos, and greater flamingos are the lightest shade of pink of all the flamingos. Oh, one more quick view of some of the elephants back there on the left. Those are the ones I think that were hiding behind some of the trees earlier. Now we're super lucky here because not only do we see some white rhinos, we see some zebras here as well, and if you look back there you'll see the baby white rhino. Now these white rhinos, they're very endangered. Their horns are very valuable on the black market, so it is a constant battle with poachers, even on reserves like this one. And it doesn't help that they have really poor eyesight. It makes them pretty susceptible to poachers. But these zebras, believe it or not, they are black with white stripes and not white with black stripes. And actually the way you can tell that is by looking at their noses and hoofs. And no two zebras have the same stripe pattern, so they are a little like fingerprints in that way. I'll try and get us a good view of the baby white rhino up here. Now white rhinos, they're larger than black rhinos. They get to be around 5,000 pounds compared to black rhinos, which only get to be around 3,000 pounds. And then I see another white rhino up ahead. I also see, if you look closely up on the hill, I see some cheetahs up there. There's one laying down behind the tree. And there's another, it looks like behind the rock. It's a little harder to see though. Now cheetahs are the fastest land mammal. They can run up to 60 miles per hour, but they only run for short distances, so they are sprinters.
Viste cómo mira con desconfianza.
Oh, a few of these wyverns around. We are super, super lucky here. Oh, and one more cheetah. It looks like it's laying down right in between some of the bushes up there. Oh, and there's also another one standing up a little further forward. Now cheetahs, they're the only big cat also that hunts during the daytime. But we're about to come up to some Kobe rocks here in a bit. And it looks like I actually do see a lion up here on the Kobe's. So I see the female lion. I also see down lower down here, these are Bontabak. Now Bontabak, they're extinct in the wild, but they are thriving on reserves like this one today. And then you can see the top of the lion's head up there. Well, maybe we'll get a better view of her around the front. Or around the other side of it. But lions, they spend a lot of their time sleeping. They're usually inactive for 18 to 20 hours of the day. Good view of her right up here.
Míralo, papi. ¿Lo ves?
Now the female lions, like this one here, they're the ones who are going to do the hunting. The male lions don't really do any of the hunting. Now it might be pretty hard for some of you to see, but in the front burrow down there on the left, there is a warthog in the burrow. Now warthogs are the largest burrowing land mammal. And even though they're fairly small, they can run up to 35 miles per hour.
Un jabalí. Oh, no sé qué pues, algo de eso. ¿Lo viste ahí durmiendo en la cueva? Es un corto, es
Now we're going to go ahead on into Magadi Glen. So it looks like we're going to get a good view of them on the other side of this hill here on the left. I see some scimitar horned oryx. Now these scimitar horned oryx are desert animals. They can actually go weeks, sometimes months without drinking any water. And they'll actually do that. It's pretty cool. They can raise their internal body temperature to around 116 degrees so that they don't sweat. And they get their name because their horns, they kind of look like the Middle Eastern scimitar sword.
Se ríe como la tía Yara, ¿viste? Se ríe como la tía Yara.
So we did get to see a lot of really, really cool animals on our safari. We had a lot of really good luck, but I do have some bad news. Those 2 weeks, they flew by, and our safari is coming to an end, so I will be dropping you all off at the nearest ordnance post. Now, not to worry, because if you're interested in seeing any other animals, I do recommend you check out the Pangani Forest Trail here in Africa. Some animals like meerkats and gorillas. Do remember there are things you can do at home to help protect the animals that we've seen on our safari. You can do things like recycling old electronics or even building small local animal habitats. Every little thing does make a really, really big difference in these animals' lives. Now, if any of you on board are wilderness explorers and you need your safari badge, the name of the trek you are on is called the Simba One.